Yes.
Happy Soulfield Sunday, everybody. We're so glad that you're here with us. We've got a chance
Mhm.
to say a quick hello to those of you who came early and live, and that's so wonderful. And we're saying a beautiful hello to all of you who are joining us via recording in the eternal now. It's such a blessing to be together.
Mhm. And as we're starting, let's light our candles. And we mentioned earlier, before we started recording, how sometimes you may feel a little bit out of sorts entering this space. And that's okay, totally okay. We can always use the Temple of Divine Perfection to hold those things that are complete with, or that they need to be recycled or no longer serving. And it's okay. We can give ourselves a little bit of time to land here, to sort ourselves into soul field, and just take a moment to listen what's here for you. What are you bringing here today? What's present? What's your desire, your intention for today? What can we hold for you? And if you feel inspired, you and want to share with the group, you can write it in the chat so we can hold it for you.
When we have intentionality or we have places of challenge that want sacred support, sometimes sharing them in that way sort of amplifies the prayer, right? Because our whatever we're bringing here into the soul field is our prayer. Nancy and I were connecting a little bit before the call, and we always get on, much earlier, and we get connected and we get prepared. And, we were both just a little not quite okay. And what we gave ourselves was the gift of just really coming into the soul field and really receiving. And because we were already coming with things, we knew what they were a little bit, then coming into the field clarified that even more. And we could see what were the places that were wanting sacred ministration. And today is
Mhm.
all about receiving. We're working with taking refuge in the divine as our pathway to ministration. And we've been working with something we call the 5 R's. And today is about receive. And so really
Yes.
let yourself receive what's here for you. And we're going to get into that more content wise, but just start with that intentionality of like, there's there's nourishment for me and I can receive that.
Mhm. And we'll start with the affirmations, tapping
Or
the thymus.
our opening prayer, love.
Oh, open in prayer. That's right. I
Let's
missed that one.
start there.
Wow.
Oh, and so we come together with grateful, reverent, and open hearts to drink from the deep well of our eternal nature. As we dive into the soul field together, we are held within a sacred and holy embrace by the source of all love, light, and grace. In this eternal now, we actively invoke our unique pathways to source and the beings of love light that support our divine evolving. We allow our mind, body, spirit to expand into the holy realms where magic and miracles are commonplace. As we minister to ourselves, we minister to one another and our family humanity. We recognize we are one in the holy wholeness. We allow all we do here today to ripple out through our lives as a living witness of divine grace for the benefit of all beings.
Mhm. Con corazones abiertos, reverentes y llenos de gratitud, venimos a beber del profundo pozo de nuestra naturaleza eterna. Al sumergirnos juntos aquí en el campo del alma, somos envueltos en en un abrazo sagrado por toda la fuente de amor, luz y gracia divina. En este ahora eterno, invocamos nuestros caminos hacia el Creador y hacia los seres de luz y amor que apoyan nuestra evolución divina. Permitamos que nuestro cuerpo, alma y espíritu se expandan hacia los reinos sagrados, donde la magia y los milagros ocurren constantemente. A medida que nos amamos a nosotros mismos, así amamos al prójimo y a toda nuestra familia humana, reconociendo que somos uno en la totalidad sagrada. Permitamos que todo lo que se haga aquí hoy repercute en nuestras vidas como un testimonio vivo de la gracia divina para el beneficio de todos. All right, so now we do the
Feel that,
affirm.
feel that. I just have to say it. I mean, that prayer, and especially when you speak it in Spanish, Nance, and I'm able to just go inward and receive so much. Oh, I hope as you are all out there receiving, being witness to each of us speaking the prayer, that you're letting it wash over and through you, that you're letting it, that you're receiving the prayer as well as transmitting it with us.
Mhm. Mhm. So now we're gonna go into the affirmations. Um, is that, can you see it?
Yes.
Right? Okay, great. So we'll do either tapping on the thymus point or rubbing our earlobes. And we repeat it 3 times. So I'll say it out loud first, and then you repeat it out loud after. I take refuge in the divine and lay my perceived burdens down.
I take refuge in the divine and lay my perceived burdens down.
I walk step by step in the divine embrace.
I walk step by step in the divine embrace.
Every day I open and receive even more grace and sacred soothing.
Every day I open and receive even more grace and sacred soothing.
All holiness comes to me as me and emanates through me for the benefit of all of life.
All holiness comes to me as me and emanates through me for the benefit of all life.
I take refuge in the divine and lay my perceived burdens down.
I take refuge in the divine and lay my perceived burdens down.
I walk step by step in the divine and grace, embrace,
I walk step by
and
step
grace.
in the divine embrace.
Every day I open and receive even more grace and sacred soothing.
Every day I open and receive even more grace and sacred soothing.
All holiness comes to me, as me, and emanates through me for the benefit of all life.
All holiness comes to me as me and emanates through me for the benefit of all life.
And one more time, I take refuge in the divine and lay my perceived burdens down.
I take refuge in the divine and lay my perceived burdens down.
I walk step by step in the divine embrace.
I walk step by step in the divine embrace.
Every day I open and receive even more grace and sacred soothing.
Every day I open and receive even more grace and sacred soothing.
All holiness comes to me as me and emanates through me for the benefit of all of life.
All holiness comes to me as me and emanates through me for the benefit of all life.
Mm, that one definitely tracks.
Mhm. Mhm.
Oh, that was good.
Just notice that there's a different vibration in your body temple right now. And give it even more permission and let that permission grow as we continue to work today with our 5 R's. And we're going to work with receive today. So we're going to put the 5 R's up just for a quick little touchstone. We've talked about in this series already, we've talked about recognizing the first R, like noticing that we're having or experiencing some emotional imbalance, some stress, distress, suppression, depression, etc. We've talked about relaxing, what it means to sort of rest your body into the divine embrace. And then once we're rested there, to release, to intentionally set our perceived burdens down. And we talked a lot last time about the perception, that we have this perception of burden. And I can speak for myself and also for Nancy. Part of what we were coming with today is the recognition of where we need to lay some more of those perceived burdens down, where we're holding on to some storyline of not going to get our needs met, or some place of feeling victimized by life. And so release was our focus last week. And this week we're going to work on receiving. And so, of course, all of these things are part of a whole. But today we're going to break apart receiving, what it is to really allow the abundant grace to nourish us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we don't pick the burdens back up.
Yeah, we are by nature receivers. Like, these biospiritual systems are receiving and transmitting always. So it's not like we're not receiving something. It's that we may not be intentionally receiving the grace field, the soul field, and like deeply receiving what nourishes and supports us. We might just be like receiving the crazy thought fields that are floating around in the world, or the emotions of the ones around us, or like that. Right.
Yeah. And we sometimes tune into that radio station, we should be tuning into the radio station that makes us feel the most aligned, but sometimes we just turn the receiver off, or we tune into something else because that's more attractive, or that connects to our trauma, or because everybody else is talking about that, and so you feel like talking about the same thing, or the government or economy or whatever, and we then get distracted from tuning in, from opening ourselves. I have experienced myself and with my clients how sometimes they get distracted and they get caught up with comparing themselves or what the world is doing, and they forget to what their true nature is, what their authentic connection is. They used to be like very creative, or they used to be someone who would intuitively know what to do. But when they started overthinking things, when they started connecting and comparing and thinking and ChatGPT in it, then they disconnected from their true gut feeling or their true essence. And so when we are talking here about receiving, we are talking about also opening ourselves up to those opportunities, to who you are, to your call.
When we purposefully tune and then receive grace, we're actually tuning to the field of quantum consciousness where the miraculous lives. And that's why that's even part of our opening prayer. We open into the holy realms where magic and miracles are commonplace. Right? This is where we want to intentionally receive from. When we do that, we're actually doing something that has been shown scientifically with like sophisticated functional MRI research on brains to actually create a healthier brain. This beautiful research led by Lisa Miller out of Columbia is basically showing that when we're in the state of sacred receiving, she calls it quest, that's her name for it. When we're in this mode, we have the healthiest, most resilient brain functioning happening. But the mode requires the willingness to change our mind, to perceive newly with new data points, to get this sort of like information that may not fully fit with our current perceptual framework, and to allow ourselves to be changed by that. So sacred receiving requires this capacity to be willing to change. And this is where our primary challenge is with opening to the sacred, that we have built in a little bit, woven into some of the fabric of our culture, some rigidity and some fear of change and fear of things that look different than what we currently can perceive. Right. So,
Yeah. And sorry,
go ahead,
please
dear.
continue. Oh, we are used to living our lives in a certain way. And so to change to this new way is hard, it's difficult because how can I trust? Life hasn't been the most pleasant. How can I trust that I will be cared for? How can I trust um, that miracles are really going to happen? And in the last session that we had, in the last gathering that we had, we talked about putting your burdens down. And once you put it down, don't pick them back up. Like, don't get back into those thoughts and try to engage with them again and try to like think of, well, but I need to explore this more. Just leave them there and allow yourself to be open to this maybe new ways of thinking. Um, you start building a new resonance. Your brain starts changing. The neurotransmitters start firing differently, and neuroplasticity starts to happen. So things start to change. But if we go back into our old baggage, then we're not going to have the opportunity to open ourselves up to this new ways of experiencing life. And that requires what Luminaria said, let go of the rigidity and the fear of change. It requires that you create a new identity. This is who I want to be now. This is the person that I decide that I want to be. And I'm no longer subscribing to that, or this is hurting me. I don't want to do this anymore. This is the person that I am. Um, and in this new identity, then you start adjusting and adapting, and you start thinking about, okay, what does this look like? I used to think that nobody cared, or I used to think that things were hard. How can I shift that thinking? How can I start practicing more openness and really releasing and allowing myself to receive more?
And that place when Nancy's saying, like, how can I? It's like the answer to that question is always going to be to open to the sacred guidance. It's not a thing you do, it's a thing you receive. We literally are transceivers. We live in a non-local universe. We are receiving a frequency. That's what's coming through me and Nancy and all of you at any given moment. And so the more we're tuning to that sacred frequency with intentionality, the more that will automatically begin to shape us in the
Yeah.
way that is most beautifully aligned for us, in the ways that allow for a sacred, graceful unfolding. But it requires us to come in. Like, this is the thing about receiving. It requires us to come in with our key tool of curiosity,
Mhm.
because we're going to get little messages that don't make sense or that feel overwhelming, or we're not sure how to bring that into form. We don't know how it works. We're not sure how that could possibly rewrite for us. So we enter into what Nancy and I call the show me prayer. It's like our life becomes a show me prayer. Well, show me. Show me how that works. Show me how
Mhm.
this serves me. What do I need to know, see, or understand about this? How can I best open to this? These are like key questions when we are in the place of like, we've set the burdens down, but now what? Show me, guide me, lead me. And that
Mhm.
prayer is specifically to the highest source of wisdom of our own eternal nature and to the very source of eternal life itself. And so you perhaps have a name for that. And perhaps you don't need a name for that. You need the antenna that tunes you there. And that's part of what we're going to do today in our meditation.
Mhm. When we say show me, we are in such a short amount of words, we're saying I release it, I'm not going to be ego driven by this. I don't know what I'm doing. I surrender. I'm willing to receive. Show me. Okay, show me. This didn't go the way that I wanted it to go. Okay, show me. Show me how is this serving me, showing me what I need to know. It's like this. I'm not a victim. I just want to see the magic. I want to see the miracle. I'm open. Let's do this, you know? And it's with curiosity, not with control or anything like that.
Totally. Life can bring us some real humdingers that are like, "Ah," and make it really hard for us to trust that there's a sacred unfolding, for us to see what it is. And so it's in those places where we feel ourselves in that fear that this thing in my life is not resonant or resonant with me, or I don't know how to create harmony with this, or this is bad, this looks bad, this looks not good. Like these things come and they can really zap us. And those are the times where we most need to be receiving from the grace field, where we most need to be dialed in and saying, like, okay, I don't get it, but I trust.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
maybe you have the blessing of knowing. I feel like I have the blessing of knowing that there is sacred goodness. And yet, sometimes I get caught. It's so easy when life comes up with this thing that you weren't expecting, that didn't look the way you wanted it to look, or this message comes in of guidance that's like, I can't do that.
Mhm.
These are the
Yeah.
times to really create even more receptivity.
Mhm. And it's not about spiritually bypassing your emotions. This is not what it's about. It's not like, oh, I'm not gonna get ever angry or sad, or I'm not gonna feel my feelings because the universe has a thing. It's not that. We are human beings and we are meant to experience all of these emotions. What we're trying to say here is, yes, this is difficult. Yes, this is not the most ideal situation. Okay, show me how I can be of service. Show me how to be humble. Show me how to surrender. Just show me. What do I need to learn? This hurts a lot, and I don't want to repeat old patterns. Just show me. Show me the way. No.
That place that Nancy said of humility, this is what we're talking about. Sacred humility is the understanding that, first of all, we have a sacred and holy connection. And secondly, that unless we're plugged in there, we can't possibly know. And that even when we are plugged in there, we're on a need to know basis. We get to see what serves in this particular moment. We don't see, we can't possibly see the entire web of life and all the things that are happening on all the levels and in all the dimensions at any given moment. But what we can do is come to the particular moment we're in and intend to receive the sacred support that allows us to feel buoyed. Perhaps that moment is just about strengthening our muscle to open and receive grace.
Mhm.
Like life might be teaching us that. And
Yeah.
maybe it has more than that. And that's why we stay in that place of like open-handed, open-hearted, curious,
Mhm.
purposefully tuning, not tuning to the thought field, not tuning to our emotions. We don't ignore them, but we don't need to, like, that's letting us know, like, I feel unsafe somehow. Let me plug in and receive there. Let me listen there, right? The first R is recognizing there's emotional distress. That lets us know we need to take refuge. We need to relax and rest and lay our burdens down, release, and deeply receive, which is what we're going to do.
Yeah. And sometimes this is not about knowing what's next or why this is happening. Sometimes it's about like, okay, this is not necessarily pleasant, but I need to trust that it happened for a reason. Um, and you may not know right away, you may not know in years, but later on the picture will come clear and you'll see like, oh wow, thank you for taking care of me. Thank you for having my back because I didn't see it. I didn't see it then. And so we accelerate the process by releasing and receiving. We're like, okay, I'm probably not going to see it right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and surrender
Yeah.
and trust. Yeah.
That place, that trust gives us the sacred patience to not know, to not see, to not have it all figured out. And nor are we meant to. We're actually meant to be in the mystery of life unfolding. We
Mhm.
live in a culture that tells us we should know everything, and we are trying to come to know things. And that impulse to know, there's nothing wrong with that impulse. It's just that in the impulse to know, we oversimplify and we narrow our perception. And this is actually the other side of the research when we were saying that research that I spoke about from Lisa Miller around, this very healthy brain that's in the quest mode, that's in this, what Nancy and I are calling deep spiritual receptivity. The other mode we get in is task mode. And that task mode has a purpose, right? We can't, if we were just in the receptivity, it would make us hard, we might have a hard time being grounded in our lives. We need to be able to go back and forth with them. But when we get stuck in this mode, we get stuck in narrow thought patterns and we just repeat them. And we are not innovating there. We're not expanding there. We're not growing there. We're just sort of like on a track. And sometimes we need to be on a track. It's not like that's wrong. It's that these two need to be happening. And what we in general as a species are needing to flex our muscle on is that sacred receptivity. We've kind of got this one down. Like practice on that for most people. There are some people who come in and they're just like blown out of the water and they need to figure that out. But most of us need to do the other thing.
Yes, yes. And what happens very often, and we talked about this in previous experiences, we have this old patterns and ways of thinking based on how we were raised, acculturation, social conditioning, all of those things that tells us this is what the world looks like. This is it. And when we are putting the perceived burdens down, we are asking you to put also all those preconceived notions down and open ourselves to what if there was more than that I didn't know? If I were to tell you right now, oh yeah, you can be the next president, you'd be like, what? That's not in my condition. That's not possible. Or maybe it is. But so I want you to see how much we limit ourselves based on our conditioning, and we need to put that down and open ourselves to the what if. What if there was another way? What if it was possible? What if I could have it all? What if, with curiosity, like we've mentioned a few times, and surrendering and openness. Mm.
So we're going to invite you into a deep place of the first 4 R's that we've worked with today. We're going to go to that gorgeous crystalline pond of light that is the place, our unique and personal place of refuge. And so we're going to invite you, if you'd like to lay down, you can make an adjustment. If you'd like to sit, but allow yourself to find that place where your body is comfortable. And as you're finding your comfort, begin to allow your awareness to drop inward. And as you're dropping inward, feel yourself first, just connecting more fully with the sacred temple of this body, feeling the breath coming into the flesh and blood and bones and sinew and all the molecules and the space between all those molecules. Just for now, feel yourself letting go of the outer world and coming even more into the interior world. Giving your mind the task to focus on the breath and the guidance of this meditation, allowing it to relax the need to figure, and let each breath be a deepening into the body, a deepening into this holy now moment. And feel yourself moving toward, or perhaps this sacred crystalline water is moving toward you, but coming close to that crystalline water pond, this place that is your sacred place of refuge, the space that has been divinely prepared just for you, where the cosmic amniotic fluid of creation exists in this beautiful crystalline pond, surrounded by nature that nourishes you. And as you come into connection with this place, as you come into resonance, you begin to recognize how much you need this refuge. You can feel already the impulse to relax into the divine embrace of this sacred space. And you begin to allow your body to surrender into being held by this sacred cosmic earthy space that's yours. And as you're relaxing in, you let yourself feel the space. Your senses awaken and you can feel the quality of the air there. The way the earth feels on your body. Take in the visual beauty of this sacred space of yours. Notice what you can hear here in this place. Are there birds or wind or other creatures or the sound of the water moving? And as you receive in these ways, you feel little by little that your body is relaxing more and more, that your mind is relaxing more and more. And you even allow the jaw to rest slightly open, giving permission for the thinking mind to relax even more. Feeling the breath supporting you, the sacredness of the air around you. And begin to notice the places of heaviness, the places that are hard to relax out of, worries or thought forms, heaviness in the heart. Places of stress or physical discomfort. Let the jaw rest open. Let the out breath be a little bigger. And with intention, begin to see the things that the eyes have seen and the ears have heard that have created some of these places of tension and pain, worry, discomfort, dis-ease in the body. You'll feel the base of the skull open as you intend this. And understand that this sacred pond of water is both medicine and sacred witness. And in a prayer-like fashion, or if you're someplace where speaking aloud feels good for you, begin to speak the burdens that you've carried with you to this place. Here's what I've been worrying about. Here's where I'm afraid. Here's where I'm doubting it can be okay. Name these things and feel the sacred witnessing that's here. As you speak aloud to your sacred source, you can feel these burdens fall off of you. They fall off your shoulders, out of your body. And you can feel the profound relief of being gotten, of being heard, of being received. And you just keep laying your burdens down. Perhaps the body almost feels as though it can cry with the relief of this. And maybe there are tears. Each breath an opportunity to let go even more. Sometimes the burdens that we carry don't even originate with us. We sometimes inherit the perceived burdens of our lineage. And so, with intention, bring your awareness and your presence to the belly button, to the place where the umbilicus attached, where you were physically plugged into your lineage. And intend with an in-breath to receive the sacred gifts of your ancestry, of your lineage. And with an out-breath, intend to let go of their perceived burdens and adaptations. Breathing in the sacred water from this holy place where you live. Breathing out what is complete, right out of the belly button. Registering all the places as far back in your lineage where there are things you need. You don't even need to know what they are. You just intend that the sacred breath draws that in. And then you begin to release with the out breath what you no longer need. And with each breath, the etheric umbilicus starts to loosen. And you begin with intention to unplug from your lineage, registering this is not my true source. This was the source of some strength and some information about my life, but it's not my true source. And so this continued breathing in the gifts, breathing out what you don't need. And that etheric umbilicus just starts to dissolve naturally. And you take some of that sacred amniotic water and you wash that area. You bring that water to the belly button and you wash it with this sacred water of creation. And that water helps to dissolve the remaining connections that are no longer feeding you. And you take in some of that sacred water, like the belly button can open and receive. And there's a stream that begins inside your body from the belly button into the central channel. And that stream begins to flow up through the central channel of the body to the crown. This beautiful stream of water flowing from the belly button into your body, up through the central channel to the crown. And this stream of liquid light continues to flow. And it flows out and up beyond the crown. It knows where it's going. It's plugging you into your perfect place to link up with the eternal life, light, wisdom. And so this stream from the belly button now plugging you into your central channel. Through the central channel, this stream of light to the very source of eternal life, the light of eternal wisdom, the place that you emanate from. And here you begin to call upon the source of all grace. And we call upon the flame of divine magnificence, the metallic silver light, and the flame of divine perfection, the metallic golden light, to begin to flow down through that stream into the crown, down through that pathway to the umbilicus. And then that beautiful source of grace and these flames start flowing out the umbilicus. And they very gently start to flow like a cocoon around your body and energy. So this source of eternal life and these flames moving into you, flowing out the umbilicus and cocooning you, supporting your body and your energy in becoming tuned in sacred perfection to that which truly serves you in your highest path. And you can feel this goodness, you let yourself receive it. And you can feel as this very gentle wrapping of light happens, that every molecule and the space between every molecule becomes charged with grace. And it feels good. And you receive that goodness. You let yourself drink it in. You let it change you, remind you, minister to you, awaken you. And it's visceral, you can feel it, you can see it. You may even hear the light. And you let yourself receive as we play our song for this series.
This is the sound of one heart starting to heal. This is the sound of faith stepping out of fear. Oh, the journey of one soul's passage through time. Oh, this is one dream learning to fly. This is the sound of love reaching out from the storm, calling through the thunder, through the anguished war. And I can feel the winds, feel them beginning to turn. And oh, this is one small light starting to burn. And your is shining in every
And so as you're resting in the sacred cocoon of light, receiving the resonance that you are, if it feels good for you, you can gently start to bring yourself back. And we're going to just pause the recording for a minute, just for any quick, we just have like a little quick touch in, but I think maybe what we might do is just make space for someone who feels like a burning desire to touch in. And then we'll close our circle.
And as you're bringing yourself back slowly, just bring the intentions also from the beginning of our time together. And let us hold that for you.
Mm.
Let us bring that intention or those thoughts into this space of receiving, deeply receiving. And if you want more information where to find the recording, you can go to soulfield.org, where you'll find all the links for our YouTube so you can watch this meditation as often as you need. Thank you for those that are tithing towards this to make this happen. And our next Soul Feel experience is going to be on the second Sunday of August. So that's the 10th. And then the next meditation is going to be the first Wednesday of August, which is the 6th. And we'll close it with the prayer.
We are deeply grateful to have experienced miraculous communion with our holy wholeness in the soul field. We wholeheartedly receive the upliftment of one another's communion and blessed soul light. As we close this formal gathering, we each in our own way will continue dwelling in the soul field and supporting our collective evolution. With deep gratitude, we thank one another and all our angels, guides, and guardians. Remembering as we minister to ourselves, we uplift one another. We encourage the magic we've co-created to ripple out to all our relations for the benefit of all beings.
Estamos profundamente agradecidos de haber vivenciado esta comunión de nuestros seres sagrados en el campo del alma. De todo corazón recibimos la elevación del sacramento de cada uno de nosotros y de nuestra bendecida luz del alma. Al culminar esta congregación, cada uno de nosotros de manera propia continuaremos conviviendo en el campo del alma y apoyando nuestra evolución colectiva. Con profunda gratitud, agradecemos el uno al otro y a nuestros ancestros, ángeles, guías y guardianes de luz, recordando que cuando nos amamos a nosotros mismos, amamos y elevamos al prójimo, alentando la magia que acabamos de co-crear para que se expanda a nuestras comunidades de manera que todos los seres se beneficien. So we'll close our circle, blowing out the candles, understanding that the Temple of Divine Perfection is there if you want to continue using it or if you need it later on. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for being with us, beloved.